Welcome to We Heart Therapy. You're watching Your Guide to Therapy and Coaching, and I'm your host, Anabelle Bugatti. Today we're talking about a very special topic, and that's the topic of bullying and how bullying can affect you as an adult and how therapists deal with this. Now we have a special guest today, Danielle Matthew. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist in the Los Angeles area, and she's a specialist in the area of bullying, and she's agreed to talk to us today about this special topic. Thank you so much, Danielle, for being on our show.
Hi, you're welcome. It's nice to be here.
All right. So can you sort of help our viewers understand a little bit more specifically about what bullying really looks like and how does it affect children?
Great question, Anabelle. Okay, so bullying really is a repeated behavior where someone has actual power over somebody else. So like a one-time issue between two kids is more like a conflict resolution situation, but if it continues to happen one grade after the other where they are constantly being teased or physically bullied, verbally bullied, relationally or cyber bullied, and the main thing you want to remember about bullying is it's repeated. It's not a one-time event. And so that is really the true definition. And someone has to have power over the other person over and over again.
How do they gain power?
They gain power by they find people who they feel are weaker than them. They feel like they're different. So, I love and embrace all differences of people, but kids don't always do that, as we know. Kids like to pick on things that people have differences about.
Right. So it may not actually be like a difference of like a kid in a higher grade. It could be two kids that are technically equal, but it's like the illusion. They create sort of a power dynamic.
Well, and yeah, it depends if they look different than them, if they have a different background than them, depending on their socioeconomic status, depending on how they talk. Do they talk differently? Do they talk weird? Their physical appearance. It can be a number of things that really strike the bullying.
Now, here's a good question. Does bullying happen among adults?
Yes, all the time. In fact, I can't tell you how many of my personal friends have come to me in their workplaces and told me that they are being bullied, where they repeatedly are being either ostracized, left out of things, talked about, verbally treated very meanly. It happens all the time in workplaces.
Now, I have a lot of clients who sort of have had this myth that what happens to you as a kid, if you're bullied, that you should just get over it, and they don't really understand how it affects you as an adult. So could you talk to our viewers a little bit more about how bullying, even if it starts and stops while you're young, can affect you over the long haul?
Yes, I think that's such a good question because it's huge. Because what happens is bullying stays with you. If you don't get therapy, you don't get help, then you feel like that awful kid that you were teased about and those terrible words or names that they called you or put on, Facebook, any Snapchat kind of thing. And then it happens really interestingly because we don't know it will trigger, but things can trigger people who've been bullied as kids, as adults, and then they can have a different reaction to things. Last summer, I did a conference, and actually a man raised his hand at the end saying, I still feel the effects of my bullying, and he was in his mid-30s. So anything can trigger it, maybe another relationship that they get into, and if it's not a healthy one, it can remind them of the triggering of the past, of what they felt.
And bullying can happen within a family as well, correct?
Yes, that's a great question. Bullying can between siblings sometimes parents. And they don't think it's necessarily bullying with how they're acting, and sometimes it has to be pointed out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of clients come in that are still feeling the effects of bullying that happened when they were kids.
Yes.
And I sort of tell them it's almost like a ghost that haunts you. It like haunts the walls.
Yes, it does. And you don't know what's going to trigger it as well. I was a kid who was bullied, and that's why I probably have a lot of interest in it. And sometimes you just don't know what happens. A few months ago, I was somewhere and it just triggered all my old feelings again of being bullied as a kid. So it can be a situation, it can be an incident, and it just comes up and you feel it real strongly.
Yes. And even many of us therapists still have memories of those. I know myself, I've been more obsessed with my appearance as an adult because of how much I was bullied as a kid, because my parents weren't rich. They couldn't afford the, name brand clothes. And, I was constantly picked on. You know, I remember I got a haircut in 5th grade. I got a bob. I remember the exact little boy in the class next door who made a comment, and I still can hear his voice perfectly, remember his name, see his face, and remember the comment as if it happened, you know, 5 seconds ago.
Yes, and that's why I work with kids who are bullied, and I have a program, because I don't want that to happen to kids as adults. I want that to, you know, something we can stop earlier, because it's very hurtful and extremely painful. I can only imagine for you as it was for me.
Of course. Now, can you talk to our viewers about what getting therapy for bullying looks like, both for children and adults?
Yeah, so for instance, for me, I work with children and parents primarily, and I have a program that I designed called the Empowerment.space, and it's a 10-week program that is in a pilot study here in Los Angeles, and I do 3 follow-up sessions after the 10 weeks, and essentially empowering kids from 10 to 17 to really solve their problems and empower them to learn ways of coping and self-esteem skills. So a new skill is learned every week. We have sessions with parents as well to really engage them in the process. Because like you said, we don't know if there's a parent who's bullying as well. So we really want to be addressing the whole family unit, and we address the school as well. So I would say a great place to look for references or resources, I can certainly give you my information for Los Angeles, but Psychology Today might be a really good resource. If you go under bullying in Psychology Today, there's probably adult therapists as well who work with people who've been victims of bullying, just like you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what types of models or approaches do you find that is most commonly used among therapists when addressing the subject of healing from bullying?
Well, personally, I feel that cognitive behavioral therapy works really well, where you do a lot of role plays and you strategies, and you do it in vivo in the moment to really work on specific skills. I think for especially children, and even for actually adults, I think it really works well. You know, the whole idea of really thinking about what you're doing in the moment and practicing of the skills. You know, positive self-talk also is a really good one, in that you can talk about, no, I am good, I am okay, and we can practice it in the moment. And so I find cognitive behavioral therapy to be quite effective.
Yes, and I do also know, I think many therapists who use attachment-based approaches as well, which often can be used in conjunction with CBT.
Yes.
We call cognitive behavioral therapy CBT for my viewers.
Yes.
I did a video about all those acronyms, so
that's great.
So I like how you mentioned if somebody is looking for a therapist that can help them heal from bullying, Psychology Today is a great resource. Is there any other way that somebody could locate a therapist who specializes in this area?
You know, they may want to try their insurance company, because sometimes insurance companies have specialty areas, and then they can certainly try to find someone who's on their plan. You can also Google the topic and for therapists and see who might be in their area. Like for me, I work in Sherman Oaks and Brentwood in Los Angeles, so I can take both of those areas. But for other people who may not live in those areas, those may be other really effective ways to do that.
Excellent. Now, if somebody is in the Los Angeles area and they're interested in working with you, how can they find you?
They can find me by my phone number, which is area code 818-267-4282, or they can email us at www.empowerment.space, and they will find my information on the website there as well.
And what is your website?
That one is the www.empowerment.space.
Empowerment.space. Not
yes.
Empowerment.space.
Yes.
So if you're looking to work with Danielle Matthew, go to empowerment.space, not empowerment.com. Put that link in the drop down description for this video, and it will appear at the bottom of your screen in this video as well. So thank you again, Danielle, for being with us today. This topic is so important. And if you are experiencing the effects of bullying, there is no shame in getting help. And really, it's a terrible burden and a terrible pain to live with. So please, please, please seek out qualified help in your area. And if you know somebody who is a bully, do what you can to seek help to intervene on that bullying. Thank you again for staying tuned to our channel. Again, you're watching We Heart Therapy, your guide to therapy and coaching. Make sure that you hit the drop down and for more information to visit our guest and visit us online, and make sure that you stay tuned to more exciting videos on the way, and make sure that you hit subscribe. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.